So many different times in my life, I've played with broken or hurt things, broken foot, broken leg, broken hand, broken arm, broken sternum, broken collarbone. I could keep going if I just thought more about bones. Why, man? Because I loved it. I loved playing the game. I was passionate about it. One of the reasons I even get encouraged at seeing all of you here. Do you know why I get encouraged by that? Is because you could be anywhere doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you. And they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrivetime show starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zuttner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women. 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
Mr. Clyde started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks. I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. Now we here.
Clay, good to see you again, my friend, here
How
in
are you?
Seattle. I'm doing wonderful. I'm excited to be here. I know that Seattle is a good place for you,
Yeah.
and your skin tone.
America, America.
What's your favorite part so far?
Of Seattle?
Yeah.
I gotta be honest with you, just the atmosphere of the town, the energy over there by the Pike's Place Market,
Like throwing the fish.
They're
and
throwing the
stuff.
fish, the fresh fish, you know,
Yeah.
the first Starbucks, the big Ferris wheel, Bainbridge Island. There's a bunch of these Sounder fans that formed a big human parade. They had
Those
their
are
own drums
the
down there.
football fans, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. I almost cried, and then I realized I'm not going to cry. I'm just going to order some appetizers.
That's good. Did you become a football or a soccer fan?
Here's the deal. 90% of the world, my understanding is 90% of the world
Yeah.
puts soccer or football at the Stop it.
Football?
Stop it.
Okay.
They've put this game at the peak.
Football. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the peak of their needs.
Right.
And to me, it's like I feel like because the rest of the world's doing that, I have to be like balance it out.
Wow.
So it's like the only sport that I don't care about at all.
So like men's gymnastics, you're all about.
I care more about football.
Football,
than
okay.
men's gymnastics.
That's good. I just want to know where that list was. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of lists, today the topic is making a list, checking it twice. It's getting started with Guerrilla PR 2.0. Clay, what is this list that we're going to be making? Give us a quick sneak peek of what this episode contains.
Okay, Brian Tracy, one of the most successful speaking business success authors out there, is awesome. He says that successful people think on paper. I'd like our program observer to Google this, look it up, put it on there. But successful people think on paper. What it means is, Napoleon Hill also says, you need to turn thoughts into things, okay? And what happens is that a lot of times we have all these ideas, like I'm gonna call these reporters, I'm gonna call the media, and I'm gonna do it. But it doesn't happen because we don't turn it into a tangible list. We need to literally make a list of the people we're gonna contact.
Yeah.
And in a self-fulfilling prophecy, we need to say, I am going to reach these people and make a great impact, and the world will know about my business. And then it will happen.
Does this only apply to kind of a limited number or a certain type of businesses in your mind? What if I'm a business owner and I think, well, my business isn't really a business that lends itself to big PR stories?
Well, in his book, PR 2.0, the Guerrilla PR 2.0, he does lay out all of the different ways to make any kind of business or organization newsworthy.
Okay.
So there is a way, in my mind, to do it for every kind of business.
Okay, so we're going to be doing a lot of notable quotables here from the great Michael Levine, the Thrive 15 mentor. He's represented some big names here. You want to rattle some of those off for us?
Well, first of all, I'll tell you some songs he's represented.
Oh, this is
He
beautiful.
represented the guy who sang Purple Rain.
Okay,
Purple rain, purple rain. That's awesome.
beautiful.
He represented the guy who sang the song Billie Jean.
Okay.
You know, Billie Jean's not my lover. No. She's just a girl who thinks that I'm the one. That's what, you know.
That's
He represented
incredible.
that guy, Michael Jackson. Perhaps you've heard of him. He represented
Is the company
a guy who was
Mickey?
famous for playing a saxophone.
Yeah.
President Bill Clinton.
Okay, those are all big.
He's represented the guy who wrote the song Careless Whisper.
Yeah.
These guilty feet have got no rhythm.
Nike?
Nike, Schmikey.
Nike,
Let's get
Schmikey.
back to George Michael.
Okay.
Pizza
So,
Hut, you know.
That's some reason, you know, this man, when he says something for you to do for your PR as far as the company goes, you should listen.
You want to stop, collaborate, and listen right now.
Okay, listen. Okay, so here we go. The first point that we're going to cover here is start making a Dream 100 media list. Start making a Dream 100 media list. Here's the notable quotable from the great Michael Levine. He says, having determined your target audience, you must now amass a comprehensive list of key names from media and other areas that allows you to mold your campaign.
And what's happening is he's working off the assumption that you've already defined who your target audience is.
Okay, step one, define who that is.
Let's give you an example. Thrive is for future-focused people who believe that this year can be better than last year. That's what the site's for. It's for people who believe they can thrive, who've rejected surviving, they want to thrive. It's not for people who are on Mount Mediocrity and happy to be there and justify its existence.
Right.
It's not for people who believe that the world is sarcastic and cynical and it can't get better. It's not for people who want to be a victim. It's for the people who want to be a victor, regardless of their circumstance.
Okay.
So we've defined that. So as we market people who don't believe they have the ability and capacity to make their own life better, we strongly encourage you to hop off the site.
Yeah.
People who are looking for just a bunch of theoretical, general knowledge about things that are interesting.
Okay.
People who are looking for an in-depth training on where the abacus came from, because it's interesting. Those people should not be on Thrive.
We won't be going over that.
We won't be going over that there.
Right.
So you want to make sure you declare who your audience is. You want to know that, and then only go after the publications. The publications. Go after the publications that your target audience reads, watches, consumes, etc. Example: football. You mentioned that before, and again, as much as I am.
Are you saying football? I don't understand what you're saying.
I'm saying that we're on the second-story building. In just a minute, you're gonna be checking out Seattle.
Well, joke's on you because you've been videotaped. So
Oh, yeah.
I'll
Okay.
have you
Well-
thrown in jail.
Well, then I'll just, after I'm in jail, I'll hire some people. Anyway.
Football. Go back
Yeah.
to football.
So if you're wanting to promote football, you probably would want to do it on ESPN.
Yeah.
You probably would do it on like Sports Illustrated.
Right.
A place where people who like sports would be.
Okay, that makes
You
sense.
probably wouldn't want to be spending a whole lot of time promoting that sport on like the Art Channel or some sort of, the History Channel has different.
National Geographic.
And there's some crossover, but you want to just focus on where the most likely buyers are.
So that's step number one.
Yep.
As a business owner or thriver, figure out who your target audience is.
Yep.
And then we have to make this list.
Yeah, we're going to call it a Dream 100 because
Okay.
I'm working off the assumption that you don't have a limitless budget. Now, if you're watching this and you do have a limitless budget, then make a Dream 1000. But I'm saying you need to start with a list of 100 people. Be pig-headed and commit to getting at least 100 people on your list.
Even 100 can be overwhelming. How do I even start to create this list?
Well, what I would do is let's pretend we'll work off the assumption that I have an indoor soccer facility.
Okay.
And it's in New York.
Okay.
And I want the whole city of New York to know about it. So I'm going to look up sports in New York. I'll put ABC New York sports. I'll put CBS New York sports. And I'll begin to look for all the reporters who've ever written about youth sports who live within the New York area.
Okay.
So any of the publications that are based within the New York area who've ever written about soccer or indoor sports or youth sports, and then I'll make sure that all of those people know my name.
Okay, so step number one
Yep.
is you're jumping on the Google.
Jumping on the Google. You got to do without the Google. Before, what you'd have to do, there are lists you can buy.
Right.
There's some data companies out there. U.S. Data Corporation is just one company. A lot of them are based in Bentonville, Arkansas, as a result of the data research that Sam Walton was obsessed about. So literally, Sam Walton, when he built Walmart, was obsessed with customer data to the point that most of the data collection companies are now based in Bentonville, Arkansas.
Okay.
So these companies will sell you a list for $1,000 or $500 of all the reporters who live in a certain area
Right.
who cover a certain kind of story.
So if you can't buy that list, you jump on Google and you just start typing in stories that would relate to your business.
I helped one motivational speaker do this, and
Yeah.
it took us about 8 hours
There you go.
to make a list of 100. So, I mean, it takes a while, but you can do it.
Okay, perfect. Well, so once you start making this list, the second point here is bigger lists equal more opportunities.
Yeah.
You mentioned if the budget limits you to 100, do that, but you're saying the bigger list, it's always better?
I think it's always better to start with 100 at first.
Okay.
So that you can figure out which reporters are going to respond best, what marketing, what PR, I guess, angles you're working that are getting the best reception.
Okay.
Getting the best. And then once it works, you want to scale it. Whatever works, you want to nail it, and then you want to scale it. You always want to figure out what works and then do more of that.
Okay, here's what Michael Levine says to support this, our notable quotable here. He says, the bigger your list, the greater your options. That doesn't mean you contact everyone on your list each time you send out a press release. You pick and choose who gets what and block out a long-term strategy as you go. So this is exactly the same thing. The bigger the list, the more options, but you don't necessarily have to be overwhelmed with this list.
Don't be overwhelmed. Just when you're making your list, though, you need to make sure that you're, and we'll get into that later, but you'll want to record the author's name, the reporter's name, the news organization they're with, and then what story they wrote.
Yeah.
What story they wrote that relates to it. So that way you'll send out, example, if you, in one of the markets I do some work in, there's one reporter who loves the military.
Okay.
There's also another reporter in that same market that does not like the military. And I'm not going to argue with the guy as to whether America would even be possible,
Right.
although I want to,
Right.
without the military. But what I can do is I'll make sure I don't send press releases that are military focused to this guy who doesn't like the military.
Sure.
And I won't send media releases about fashion and the fashion industry to the guy who's obsessed with the military.
One thing that I like is we always mention how Clay has used all of these. In our office today, as far as our Dream 100 goes for PR, we have a massive board.
Sick.
It's a sick, massive board with names of the people and the publications. And I know that you have it written on there what their tendencies are. And I also know that lots of Thrivers might think that they can make this list on a computer and a Google Docs and then have some written down on paper. How important is it to have this list that's physical, tangible, all in one place?
I'll say this. This is a question that you need to ask yourself.
Okay.
If you're the kind of person who can write goals and save them somewhere digitally and act upon them with the same frequency as you would if they were tangible, then do it. But you would be in that 0.1% of the American population that I've ever encountered who ever does anything that's not written
Right.
somewhere tangibly. Most of the millionaires I encounter have to put it on their mirror. If there's a scripture they're trying to learn or a thing they're trying to memorize or something they want to get done, they'll usually have a physical to-do list they'll take with them to the store. Now there is people who use their phone and do it that way. That's okay. Just whatever you're going to do, but don't play little games. This is your life. Don't play a game where you're like, I'm just going to do it digitally because for me it's easier, and then not do it.
Right.
So almost all of the successful PR organizations I've seen have a way where they take the digital and make it real.
Right.
One more example. One guy I know has a company where they sell millions of products all over the world. And he calls it the war room,
Yeah.
but he surrounded the whole room with computer screens
Yeah.
so that he could see at any time where in the world people were buying the products. Because he found that when there's just digital emails that were coming in, the staff wasn't getting excited.
Right.
But he found that by making it visual, the people would see it and go, oh yeah, it's cool, we just sold something there in Argentina. Where when he got emails, people they quit reading the emails over time. They just started
Right.
hitting delete. Some people made filters that went to the spam. The point is, it's hard to get excited about. Think about this. You ever had a good friend, a really good friend?
Yeah, I have.
You ever had a really good friend?
Were you not
and
talking to me? Sorry, I thought you were talking to me. Keep
So have
going.
you ever had a really good friend and you have this person where you haven't seen them physically for like a half a decade? And then what happens is you see them face to face, and all of a sudden your relationship feels renewed. You're like, wow, we have a friendship, buddy. Well, I don't know. Why can't you just do that via Facebook? Why do we even want to meet face to face anymore? Why can't we just go on Facebook and it's all digital, man? I don't know. I think it's because we have a soul and we're a human. And until that changes, I think you should make it tangible.
He's preaching. That's good. I like that. This next point that we're going to dive into here is you've touched on it a little bit, but it's rightly dividing your lists.
Yep.
Okay? And there's 3 ways that we are going to encourage you to rightly divide your list. Okay? The first one is the national, the local, and the specialty. National, local, specialty. Here's what Michael Levine says in this notable quotable. Start by dividing your media list into 3 broad categories: national, local, and specialty. Then further break these down by medium: newspapers, magazines, websites, blogs, email lists, radio programs, TV shows, etc.
Boom.
So talk to me, why is it so important to break these down this far?
Because you have a face made for radio.
Oh, that's I bet I could beat you at football.
That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. I laugh sometimes 'cause I'm so frustrated
Yeah,
with you
I
and your
understand.
endless. Just.
So why do I need to break these down into lists?
You need
This
to because
specific-
you need to keep organized. You need to remember that if this person is a reporter who covers something for radio, you don't want to send them a press release that features a huge visual and a great picture you took. Example, if you're building the world's largest snow cone, you're going to want to send that to like a TV show because
Right.
they can put it on TV and people go, wow, or a newspaper, a print medium,
Right.
something visual. Where radio would be more of like a shocking stat or an urgent alert. You don't want to send an urgent alert that needs to be sent out within 24 hours to a magazine that only comes out with a new edition every 2 months.
There you go.
So you just want to think about these things.
So why is this good news for Thrivers, though? This information from Michael Levine to break it down into the specifics. Why is this good news? Why should they be encouraged by
Because this is your life and you can get in the game. Business is just a game. We get points, we keep score with dollars and cents, but it's just a game. That's all it is just a game. Every good entrepreneur knows it's just a game. We're just playing a game here. And what's awesome is you now have, I'm not a huge chess guy. Do you know a lot about chess?
I've played the game before.
You have good parents, so I'm sure you know about chess. But
Yeah, I've played the game.
the queen, I understand, has all the moves, right? Can't the queen pretty much do what she wants?
yeah.
Now, you have a major piece in this game of business. You now have like the queen. You can do whatever you want. It's the super move. It's like the trump card. You can do this. You can participate and you can win. This isn't like PR is something that only rich and famous
Right.
people can do. My friend, you can do it.
So action step is I'm going to make a list.
Yep.
I'm going to make a tangible list.
Yep.
And then the next action step here is break it down from local, national to specialty.
Yep.
How long do you expect this to take? You said you can amass that Dream 100 in about 8 hours.
Yeah.
To organize it, how long
I'm
does
just
it
being
take?
real. It takes about 8 hours to make that list of 100.
Okay.
And to make our board, I started our board, and then now we've since hired people that do it.
Right.
Probably took me 30 hours.
And it's worth it.
Yeah, it didn't take me a full week, but I remember getting to work at 3 or 4 in the morning and working on it till about 9 for it seemed like a week.
Yeah.
So like 6 hours a morning for about 5 days.
But this is worth it. As a business owner, this is worth my time.
Hey, listen, Thrive, some of you guys who are on Thrive right now, you might have heard about us in Forbes, or you saw something in, what would it be, Pando Daily, or just different publications.
Yeah.
People saw us on Bloomberg. I talked to one person who saw David Robinson's article in Fast Company about time management, and they looked him up, and boom, they found us. I mean, so the thing is, like, media shapes. We don't want it to.
Yeah.
We like to think that we have independent views, but media shapes how we think. And so it shapes the perception and builds up the brand of certain things and tears down the brand of others. Let me give you an example. If the media decided right now to paint somebody as a hero, they could be, think about this, there are celebrities who have major flaws, major addictions, major problems. They've been terrible husbands and wives, they've been drug addicts, they've been arrested, and for some reason, we look at them as endearing figures where we go, wow, this is a great guy.
Yeah.
Then there are people who've done everything the right way their entire life, been great moms, great dads.
Yeah.
The only mistake they made was producing hydrocarbons. And so because their carbon footprint is a certain size and they happen to be the CEO of an oil and gas company, well, we'll damn those people and celebrate the guy as the horrible father and horrible parent.
Powerful.
Yeah, and it's just, so the media can really shape the perception of somebody. And you think about our current president is so good with the media.
Yeah.
Like him or not, he's a genius. President Obama is absolutely a guru with the media. He knows how to connect. He always has a smile. He's likable. The other day he was giving the turkey the pardon.
Yeah.
And he just makes people laugh.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm just telling you, like, he's a great guy. So learning how to work with the media is so important.
So what we do here on Thrive is we break it down for you so you can actually apply this. Let's dive deeper into what it looks like when you break your list into the national, local, and specialties, okay? Here's what Michael Levine says. So this is his notable quotable here. He says, include network news organizations like CBS, ABC, CNN, Fox News, and their morning news shows, and national magazines like Time, Newsweek, Vanity Fair, and People, and national newspapers like USA Today, Wall Street Journal, the Christian Science Monitor, and the New York Times, the wire services like AP, the Reuters, key syndicated TV shows like Ellen, Oprah Winfrey, and Entertainment Tonight. Whew! There's a lot of options there he gives us, quite a few.
The reason why it's important is because, I'm not trying to harass you, but I mean this, your family, you guys lived in San Diego.
It's true.
Have you guys ever been to San Diego?
It's beautiful.
It is, I feel, it's like perfect.
Yeah.
The weather, what's the weather most of the time? It's 75, 80?
Right there. Mm-hmm.
The views are gorgeous, the water's gorgeous, you know. And I had never been to San Diego until, you know, and I know it seems stupid and you're like, obviously, but I mean, until you'd gone the first time, I couldn't even picture it in my mind.
Right.
And because I couldn't picture it in my mind, there's no way that I could have understood what that was like and could have contrasted that to what I was used to. But once you've seen it, you're like, oh, wow, I want that again. Yeah. Or it's like the first time you have ice cream, you're like, I don't know what that was, but that was something. Yeah. Party in my mouth is what it was.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
So the thing is, we have to share, he has to share, and he wants to share these specific publications so you can begin to think, oh, wow, I have a small little business here in my small little town with my small little, wait a minute, he's saying I could be in Vanity Fair?
Yeah.
I've read that. But sometimes we think these things are too big to even go for.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you can do it. If you've got a pulse and you're motivated, you can do this.
How many of these national, items should be on our list?
Well, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to break your group up into even thirds, your Dream 100 into even thirds. So a third needs to be national, so 33 national, 33 local, and 33 specialty. Okay. Someone's like, whoa, that's 99, Broseph. I get it. So let's do 34 for specialty.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's beautiful. Well, let's jump down to local now. What does this look like, and what does Michael Levine say it looks like? This is what he says. He says, this includes daily newspapers, local TV shows, talk shows, local all news or talk radio programs, weekly entertainment guides, local bureaus of the wire services, public access and other local cable TV stations, city magazines, business newsletters, and ethnic publications. So this is, again, him just listing out all the possible local media outlets that you need to put on your list.
Just so you can think about it.
Right.
I mean, right now, if you're watching this, and let's say that you have a product that could be used by a certain minority but not by another group. Or maybe it would be It's really specialized.
Yeah.
Let's say you have a product that's just for golfers. You would want to focus on a publication that's geared towards them.
Right.
But if you don't break it down into these local segments or the national segments or specialty segments, it's too broad.
Good.
You don't necessarily want to get your company featured in USA Today. It might not necessarily be a huge win for your company. It might be a better win to be featured in a local example. There's one local business that I worked with. They're in oil and gas.
Yeah.
And they got an article in a publication that I've never heard of. I never heard of before, and I've never heard of since.
Yeah.
But it brought them a ton of business. Why? Because there's like 3,000 or 4,000 subscribers
Yeah.
who all are CEOs of oil and gas businesses that subscribe to this trade journal. And because they got a favorable write-up for their product,
Yeah.
it changed the game for them.
So we've gone over the specific national media outlets that need to be on your list, the local. Now let's do the specialties.
Oh, yeah, here
this
we go.
is what Michael Levine says in his book. He says,
Real quick, hey, this next quote,
yeah,
can we go back old school?
yeah,
I know this is back before you were on the earth, but we want to go back to a time when Run DMC reigned supreme, when it was just every song and featured 2 dudes, maybe 3 dudes.
Yeah.
One guy would say a line, the other guy would finish it. It was just
Good,
bam,
let's do it.
bam. These guys would practice, just rehearse. They would never curse. They would
boom,
rehearse. Go
boom.
for it. Yeah.
This is the notable quote
Here we go.
right here. Magazines, trade publications, and other outlets that relate specifically to your field of interest.
If you're a musician, Billboard, Rolling Stone, and Spin, top your list? What? If you're a chef or a restaurateur, the Gourmet or Bon Appetit, and the food section of your local newspaper, top
Yours.
boom. That was
Whoa,
nice.
that was good. We did that without practice.
Without a degree, I did it.
That's incredible. That's what he says when he's breaking it down, giving you ideas of what specialty publications you should be pursuing on your list, right?
Absolutely.
Why is it so important that we understand what these specialties are? I mean,
Because again, whatever niche you're in, it's a specialty for somebody. You have to think about this. I'll give you one more example. There is a business that I did not work with, but I met these people at a speaking event, and they help create jobs for single moms. I didn't even know that there was niche businesses like this, that was their whole niche, was to create jobs for single moms. Furthermore, they're pro-American factories. So they have their whole niche is like they create American products made by Americans, and they're single moms. And like that's their niche. And so their niche was they wanted to market their products to women who decorate homes and stuff. And so I'm thinking, what? There's magazines devoted to people that want to know how to decorate their house?
that's their ideal and likely buyers.
What? Yeah, but yeah, they hit a home run with it. So that's
you
the
go.
kind of thing you want to focus on.
Perfect. So now let's move on to this next point, getting the list. Okay? Getting the list. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to include what you need when you're building this list.
Let's do it.
So I know that we talked about you can buy the list, but if you're going to go ahead and do the Google route, this is the information you need. Okay? So you need the name of the person. You need the name of the publication, the address of the publication, the phone number, the names of pertinent news shows and segments, when they air, who hosts the show, deadlines, area of coverage, and any other information that could help you comprehend the nature of that show.
Yep.
This seems like a lot. Why do we need all this?
Well, because this is what's going to happen. I'm going to call up the reporter I found who covers a story for, let's say, Fox in Detroit, and I'm going to go, hey, is this Gerald? And he'll say, yeah. And I'll say, hey, are you up against a deadline, or do you have a minute? He's like, yeah, I am up against a deadline, but I have a second. You say, hey, I loved the story that you wrote back in January 5th about... So if I don't have this information, I can't say that.
Right.
If I don't know what publication he's part of, I can't do it.
Right.
If I don't know what number to call him at, I can't do it. If I don't know that he has a daily publication or a monthly, or I can't do these things. And there's no way you're going to remember all these things. The pen never forgets. The pen never forgets. So write it down.
Good. So that's what you have to know. That's the information you need when you're building this Stream 100.
Not writing it down somewhere where you'll keep it either digitally or on paper is sort of equivalent where, like, if you write your idea on the edge of the shore in San Diego, and then the waves come in, the tide comes in and washes it away. Next morning, you're like, what was that again? And you'll lose your ideas. So you've got to understand that you have to really cherish your dreams and cherish your big ideas, cherish your thoughts, because they're given to you, I believe, from upstairs. But these thoughts are given to you, and you want to save them in a place where you can come back and get them later.
It's like not an Etch a Sketch.
Yeah.
Well, you're kind of leading us right into this, this little next point here. You've made it. It's so important that we've made our own point. How should this list be stored? Okay, so do we store it on the computer? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that are going,
on the phone,
I don't have a databasing software.
On a piece of paper.
You see, a lot of people say, I don't have a databasing software. I don't know how to. I don't have a databasing software.
So what do you tell those people?
I don't have I went and met the top publicist, one of the top publicists in the Midwest, at least by billable hours.
Okay.
This guy's charging a ton of money. Guess what he did?
What?
Do you even know what a Rolodex is? Do you know what that is, really? Do you know what a Rolodex is?
Yeah, the watch? Is that what you're talking about?
No. Yes, this is good. Don't cut this. This is real. Okay, so the Rolodex, old school, back in the day. Do you remember when people had a home phone?
I've heard about those times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, people would have something on their desk, and it would have a bunch of index cards, and you would flip it, and it was alphabetized. And that's how you found people's information quickly. So you'd put the A's and the B's and the C's, and you'd flip through the Rolodex. It was an index that rolled.
Oh, I see. Rolodex.
Yeah.
Right.
So see, that was what it was. And this guy had still, I mean, this is like in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
One of the biggest PR firms I've ever seen, and it's all Rolodex based. So he's like, I don't do computers. Then I've seen people who have it all digitally, and they have a great database.
Is there one you prefer, or what's the move here?
I prefer to save everything digitally.
Okay.
And I prefer to have my Dream 100 board be visual, like so I'll see it. I don't, all my detailed information I keep in the computer, but I like to have my Dream 100 updated so I can see it visually and I can keep track of who's been writing stories about us.
By keep it in the computer, you mean save it to your laptop?
I'll save it to Dropbox.
Okay.
I save everything to Dropbox. There's other programs out there. Some people prefer Google Drive. I am freakishly organized, and I like to save everything in Dropbox.
Okay, boom. This is something that Michael Levine says to kind of beautifully summarize what you're saying and how intense you have to be with your list.
Yep.
He says, your list is like a garden, tend it well. So you have to make sure it's saved in the right place, and then you've got this effort to tend it. What does he mean by that?
Well, the thing is, business owners, this is something that if you're watching this isn't an organizational episode, but it's something we should all do. I literally at work, I never am looking for files. I know where everything is saved all the time because I save everything the exact right way. I only touch it once. So if you email me, I will save that information in the right place so I know where it is again. I know a lot of business owners that can't find their passwords, they can't find their logins, they really struggle to find digital information. You've got to be able to stay organized because remember, you don't want to build a small business. You want to build a big business. Why? Because you have big dreams.
Right.
Unless you have small dreams, you don't want to have a small business. You want to start small and then you want to get big. Why? Because you have big dreams. And the only purpose of having a business, in my mind, is so you can make enough money to pursue your own possibilities, options, and dreams.
Right.
So you can have enough money to fuel your rocket ship to get where you want to go.
Right.
And so you're going to have to do this on a bigger scale.
Right.
You have to imagine that someday someone that you don't currently know is going to have to come in and help run your PR campaign for you. And so you're going to have to organize it in a way that other humans can quickly find.
There you go. That's the Dream 100. We've given you the action steps you need. You can apply them today. And Clay, I appreciate you. You're a great American.
JT, do you know what time it is?
4:10.
It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem, baby. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma. During the month of Christmas, December 5th and 6th, 2024, Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma in the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Growth Workshop. Yes, folks, put it in your calendar. This December, the month of Christmas, December 5th and 6th, Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma in the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business growth workshop. We've been doing business conferences here since 2005. I've been hosting business conferences since 2005. What year were you born?
1995.
Dude, I've been hosting business conferences since you were 10 years old. And a lot of people, have followed Tim Tebow's football career on the field and off the field. And off the field, the guy's been just as successful as he has been on the field. Now, the big question is, JT, how does he do it?
Well, they're going to have to come and find out because I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim Tebow's going to teach us how he organizes his day, how he organizes his life, how he's proactive with his faith, his family, his finances. He's going to walk us through his mindset that he brings into the gym, into business. It is going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem.
Folks, I'm telling you, if you want to learn branding, you want to learn marketing, you want to learn search engine optimization, you want to learn social media marketing, that's what we teach at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive workshop. If you want to learn accounting, you want to learn sales systems, you want to learn how to build a linear workflow, you want to learn how to franchise your business, that is what we teach at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop. You know, over the years, we've had the opportunity to feature Michael Levine, the PR consultant of choice for Nike, for Prince, for Michael Jackson. We've had the top PR consultant in the history of the planet has spoken at the Thrivetime Show workshops. We've had Jill Donovan, the founder of RusticCuff.com, a company that creates apparel worn by celebrities all throughout the world. Jill Donovan, the founder of RusticCuff.com, has spoken at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshops. We have the man who's responsible for turning around Harley Davidson, a man by the name of Ken Schmidt. He has spoken at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops. Folks, I'm telling you, these events are going to teach you what you need to know to start and grow a successful business. And the way we price the events, the way we do these events, is you can pay $250 for a ticket or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, we've designed these events to be affordable for you, and we want to see you live and in person at the 2-day interactive December 5th and 6th Thrivetime Show Business Workshop. Everything that you need to succeed will be taught at the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Workshop, December 5th and 6th in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And the way we do these events is we teach for 30 minutes, and then we open it up for a question and answer session so that wonderful people like you can have your questions answered. Yes, we teach for 30 minutes, and then we open it up for a 15-minute question and answer session. It's interactive. It's 2 days. It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We've been doing these events since 2005, and I'm telling you, folks, it's going to blow your mind. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop is America's highest rated and most reviewed business workshop. See the thousands of video testimonials from real people just like you who've been able to build multi-million-dollar companies. Watch those testimonials today at thrivetimeshow.com. Simply by clicking on the testimonials button right there at thrivetimeshow.com, you're going to see thousands of people just like you who've been able to go from just surviving to thriving.
Whoa. Each and every day, we're going to add more and more speakers to this all-star lineup, but I encourage everybody out there today, get those tickets today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And some people might be saying, well, how do I do it? What do I do? How does it work? You just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Let's go there now. We're feeling the flow. We're going to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the business conferences button, and you click on the request tickets button right there. The way I do our conferences is we tell people it's $250 to get a ticket.
Yep.
Or whatever price that you can afford. And the reason why I do that is I grew up without money. JT, you're in the process of building a super successful company.
Yep.
Did you start out with $1 million in the bank account?
No, I did not. Nope, did not get any loans, nothing like that. Did not get an inheritance from parents or anything like that. I had to work for it, and I'm super grateful. I came to a business conference. That's actually how I met you, met Peter Taunton. I met all these people.
So if you're out there today and you want to come to our workshop, again, you just got to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You might say, well, who's speaking? We already covered that. You might say, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma. And someone says, Tulsa, Jerusalem. I'm really trying to rebrand Tulsa as Tulsa, Jerusalem, sort of like the Jerusalem of America. But if you type in Thrivetime Show and Jinx, you can get a sneak peek or a look at our office facility. This is what it looks like. This is where you're headed. It's going to be a blasty blast. You can look inside, see the facility. We're going to have hundreds of entrepreneurs here. It is going to be packed. Now, for this particular event, folks, the seating is always limited because my facility isn't a limitless convention center. You're coming to my actual home office, and so it's going to be packed. Who? You're going to come. Who? I'm talking to you. You can just get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. And again,
You can name your price. We tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And we do have some select VIP tickets, which gives you an access to meet some of the speakers and those sorts of things. And those tickets are $500. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop, over 20 hours of business training. We're going to give you a copy of my newest book, The Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You're going to leave with a workbook. You're going to leave with everything you need to know to start and grow a super successful company. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's Tebow time right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Get those tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Levine, and I'm talking to you right now from the center of Hollywood, California, where I have represented over the last 35 years 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestsellers. I've represented a lot of major stars, and I've worked with a lot of major companies. And I think I've learned a few things about what makes them work and what makes them not work. Now, why would a man living in Hollywood, California, in the beautiful sunny weather of LA, come to Tulsa? Because last year I did it, and it was damn exciting. Clay Clark has put together an exceptional presentation, really life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. I'm Michael Levine. I'll see you in Tulsa.
Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specifics steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
I learned at the Academy in Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today. Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done his show before also. but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. And it's a Mr. Clay Clark. He's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hour. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
Well, first of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a guy by the name of Jeremy Thorne, who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, "Have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad?" And I said, "No." And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed, to the business owner, to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you, thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you, thank you, sir, for changing my life.
But not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why I congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much, and thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, "I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this."
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say. Whoa.